The humming. It's always the humming, a low, persistent thrumming that vibrates through the sterile titanium floor plates, up my worn surgical boots, and into the very marrow of my bones. It's the sound of the containment field, a constant, unseen barrier designed to keep the orm, just contained or board, to keep that orm. He has us safe, and frankly, to keep this entire operation a secret from a world that would undoubtedly crumble under the weight of such an impossible truth. My name is Dr. Elias Thorne, and I'm the surgeon who operates on angels. Not the cherubic, harp-strumming kind you see in Renaissance paintings. No, these are entities of impossible geometry, fractured light, and a cold, terrible ancientness that predates human comprehension. I've seen things that would shatter the sanity of lesser men, witnessed the raw, pulsating heart of cosmic horror, and still, I return to this operating theater, scalpel in hand, because someone has to. Someone has to maintain the fragile equilibrium to mend the rips in their otherworldly fabric before the unraveling becomes irreversible. There are 4 unholy rules we live by here, etched not into stone, but into the very fabric of our being, burned into our consciousness by incidents that defied reason and ended in unspeakable chaos. Each scar on my soul, each tremor in my hand, is a testament to the necessity of these protocols. Today, the hum feels different, more agitated, a prelude to something unsettling, a note of discord in the symphony of controlled dread. The air, usually thick with the metallic tang of disinfectant and the faint, unsettling sweetness of whatever arcane preservative they pump through these vents, now carries a sharper edge, like ozone before a storm. My breath fogs slightly inside my specialized biomask, a reminder of the contained environment, the precious, fragile bubble of humanity we cling to in this subterranean abyss. My hands, encased in thick, lead-lined gauntlets, feel heavier than usual. They always do before a significant procedure, but this particular subject, designated simply Seraphim 7, has been causing an unprecedented level of psychic interference within the lower levels, a low-frequency broadcast of pure, unadulterated anguish that has even the most seasoned technicians visibly strained. It's an unusual injury for one of their kind, a profound spiritual laceration, a rent in its very essence that manifests as a physical tear in its innermost auric membrane, leaking primordial light into the void. The first of our unholy rules, the bedrock of our survival, is simple, yet devastatingly difficult to obey. Never look directly into their eyes for more than a fleeting glance. Their eyes are not eyes as we understand them. They are windows, not to a soul, but to dimensions of pure thought, to realities that would unravel the very fabric of human perception. I've seen junior interns, fresh-faced and eager, break this rule. Their screams echoed for days, a horrifying symphony of shattered minds, before their bodies succumbed to the psychic feedback loop, their neural pathways fried into a grotesque, smoking mess. I still see their vacant stares in my nightmares, their pupils dilated beyond comprehension, reflecting impossible starscapes. We use specialized ocular filters, of course, but even then, the peripheral vision can be a trap. The sheer force of their ancient, terrible presence can seep through like a subtle radiation poisoning of the mind. Today, as I approach Seraphim 7 on the gleaming operating table, strapped down by glowing arcane ligatures, I feel the familiar pull, a magnetic force that seeks to draw my gaze, to force me into direct communion with the abyss, reflected in its hundreds of swirling, kaleidoscopic pupils. I keep my focus on the instruments, on the delicate, shimmering membrane I need to repair. The operating theater itself is a paradox of advanced technology and ancient ritual. Arcane sigils are etched into the walls, glowing faintly, humming in response to the containment field. Monitors display vital signs that make no sense in human terms: auric integrity, temporal resonance, existential stability. My team, a silent cadre of specialists, moves with practiced efficiency, their faces hidden behind masks and filters. their fear a palpable, shared entity in the pressurized air. The second rule, hammered home by the horrific incident involving subject Cherub 4, an entity that seemed to sprout new, iridescent limbs with a mind of their own, is absolute. Never touch their wings with bare skin. Always use the specified gauntlets. These are not merely wings for flight, they are conduits of power, extensions of their cosmic will, feathered with what feels like solidified starlight and edged with something sharper than any razor known to man. The incident with Cherub 4 involved a minor technician, overconfident and perhaps a little too curious, brushing against a secondary pinion feather. The contact was brief, instantaneous, but the effect was immediate and catastrophic. The feather, upon contact with his unprotected skin, acted like a sponge, drawing out his essence, his very life force in a matter of seconds. His body withered and desiccated before our eyes, crumbling into a fine, sparkling dust that permeated the air, causing a secondary allergic reaction of cosmic proportions in two other nearby personnel. It was horrifying. These gauntlets, heavy and cumbersome, are lined with a bioetheric dampening field, specifically designed to nullify the energy transfer. As I gingerly maneuver Seraphim 7's outermost wing, a translucent membrane that pulses with a sickening internal light, I feel a prickle, a faint tingling sensation even through the thick gauntlet. A warning. This one is particularly volatile. Its wings span almost the entire operating chamber, their tips brushing against the containment field with a soft, resonant thrum. The wound itself, a gaping tear in its lower left membrane, shimmers with a malevolent green light, slowly expanding, threatening to destabilize the entity entirely. It's like operating on a star, a living, breathing nebula of raw power and impossible physics. The sheer scale of the task, the constant proximity to such terrifying power, wears on you, chiseling away at your sanity with each passing hour. The third rule, perhaps the most critical for the immediate safety of all personnel during a procedure, dictates the incantation of stasis must be recited without error before any incision. This isn't some ancient superstition. It's a precise psychoacoustic formula, a series of guttural tones and resonant frequencies that bind the entity, forcing it into a temporary state of suspended animation, dampening its ethereal energies and stabilizing its physical form for the duration of the surgery. Without it, even the slightest incision could trigger a catastrophic discharge, an uncontrolled release of energy that would obliterate not just this facility, but potentially ripple outwards, tearing holes in reality itself. My chief assistant, Dr. Anya Sharma, usually performs this vital task. Her voice, a rich alto resonance, is perfect for carrying the complex inflections. Today, however, a tremor runs through her. I can see it in the slight hesitation before she begins, the barely perceptible waver in her initial syllable. The hum of the containment field seems to momentarily intensify, then dim. Seraphim 7, which should be completely quiescent under the stasis field, twitches. A single iridescent feather, larger than my forearm, ripples along its length. A low, guttural moan, a sound like grinding tectonic plates, echoes not from its unseen mouth, but from deep within the operating table itself, vibrating through the titanium. Anya recovers, her voice strengthening, but the moment of vulnerability, the flicker in the stasis, has been noted. The air grows heavier, the pressure building, as if the very space around us is being compressed. I can feel the entity suffering, a cold dread that seeps into my own mind, whispering doubts, anxieties, fragments of primordial fear that aren't my own. It's fighting the stasis, fighting Anya's perfectly calibrated incantation, and a thin, silvery liquid, too luminous to be blood, begins to ooze from the edges of its wound, pulsing faintly in time with the unsettling thrum. And then, the fourth unholy rule, the one that signals the absolute end, the point of no return. If the subject begins to bleed black ichor, evacuate immediately and initiate Protocol Omega-7. Black ichor is not blood. It's existential rot, the sign that the entity's core stability has been compromised beyond repair, that its very essence is unraveling. It signifies an imminent transformation, a complete loss of containment, a metamorphosis into something truly abominable. It means the delicate balance has been irrevocably broken, and all bets are off. The silvery liquid from Seraphim Seven's wound, previously luminous and ethereal, now darkens. Slowly, sickeningly, it deepens to a rich obsidian hue, thick and viscous, reflecting no light, absorbing it instead. A deep, resonant thrum begins to build, not the containment field's usual hum, but something deeper, more primal, emanating from the very core of the operating table, and indeed, from Seraphim 7 itself. The arcane ligatures holding it down begin to glow a furious crimson, straining against an unseen force. Anya's voice had regained its strength, now cracks, falters, then stops. Her incantation broken, the shimmering walls of the operating theater pulse violently, the etched sigils flaring and then dying one by one. The monitors scream, flashing red warnings across their screens. Auric integrity critical, temporal resonance fluctuating, existential stability failed, impossible energy signature detected. My heart pounds against my ribs, a frantic drum in the suffocating silence that follows Anya's failed incantation. The black ichor flows faster now, not just from the wound, but seeping from between the tightly bound ligatures, pooling on the gleaming titanium. It doesn't reflect the harsh overhead lights. It devours them, creating pockets of absolute darkness that seem to writhe. A technician screams, a guttural, choked sound, as one of Seraphim 7's secondary appendages, previously quiescent, lashes out, a tendril of pure shadow and light striking a console. Sparks fly, the lights flicker, and for a terrifying second we are plunged into near darkness, illuminated only by the malevolent glow of the creature and the sporadic flashes of dying equipment. Then, a grinding sound, like millennia of rock being crushed, reverberates through the chamber as the ligatures snap. They don't break, they simply cease to exist, dissolving into motes of pure energy. Seraphim 7 writhes, its many-faceted eyes previously veiled by our filters, now fixate on us, hundreds of swirling galaxies of horror, each one a universe of torment and ancient knowledge. The psychic scream intensifies, a deafening cacophony of impossible frequencies that tears at the edges of my sanity. My biomask fogs with my rapid, panicked breathing. "Protocol Omega 7, evacuate!" I bellow, my voice hoarse, barely audible over the rising roar emanating from the creature. But it's too late. The primary containment field shimmers violently, then shatters, exploding inwards with a blast of compressed air and primal energy. The operating theater is no longer an operating theater. It's a portal, a conduit for something vast and unspeakable. Seraphim 7 rises, shedding its bonds, its form shifting, twisting, growing. The delicate, translucent wings contort, hardening, sprouting wicked chitinous spikes that scrape against the ceiling, sending showers of pulverized concrete and ancient dust raining down. Its many eyes open wider, consuming the light, revealing a vortex of pure, unadulterated chaos within. My team is scrambling, but they are too slow, too human. I see Anya, her face pale with terror, stumbling as a shadowy appendage from the creature wraps around her, lifting her effortlessly. Her scream is cut short as she's pulled into the shifting, swirling mass of impossible anatomy, her form dissolving into a rain of golden motes. The black ichor, now flowing like a river, surges towards me, carrying with it fragments of the broken facility, shattered instruments, and something else. Something that glows with a faint internal luminescence, like a shard of forgotten memory. I feel a profound cold, not the chill of the operating room, but a bone-deep, existential frost that settles into my very being. The creature, no longer Seraphim 7, but an ancient, unbound horror, turns its myriad eyes towards me. I feel the urge to run, a primal, desperate flight instinct, but my feet are rooted to the spot, encased in what feels like solid lead. The black ichor reaches me, seeping into my boots, crawling up my legs. It doesn't burn, it doesn't sting, it simply is. A profound sense of wrongness, of inversion, washes over me. The humming returns, but now it's not from the containment field. It's from within me. A low, resonant thrumming that vibrates through my bones, my flesh, my very soul. My vision blurs, then sharpens, but everything is seen through a new, terrifying filter. The familiar sterile titanium walls now reveal a pulsating network of glowing veins beneath their surface, the ancient sigils pulsing with a malevolent light. The screaming creature before me, which was once a patient, is now revealed in its true form, not just a monster, but a shattered fragment of a colossal, cosmic entity, its pain a beacon across the void. And I see something else, something I shouldn't. Threads, tiny shimmering threads, reaching out from the creature, connecting to the very architecture of this facility, to the earth beneath, to me. The black ichor climbs higher, soaking through my surgical scrubs, seeping into my skin. It's not corrosive, it's transformative. My lead-lined gauntlets, previously cumbersome, now feel like a second skin, their weight disappearing. My senses expand. I can hear the desperate, dying breaths of the last remaining technicians beyond the shattered operating theater, their fear a tangible, delicious aroma. I can taste the metallic tang of ozone and something else, something sweet and terrible, like old blood mixed with starlight. My mind, previously burdened by human limitations, now processes information in a way that is utterly alien, seeing patterns, connections, geometries that defy Euclidean space. My hands, once precise surgeon's hands, now feel different, longer, thinner, the fingers capable of bending in new, unnatural ways. My scalp itches, and when I instinctively reach up, I feel not hair, but something else. Something smooth and cold and impossibly hard, like polished obsidian. The transformation isn't just physical, it's an awakening. I see the truth of this place, not as a hospital for angels, but as a prison, a forge, a place where these cosmic entities are harvested, their essence siphoned, their very being warped and twisted for purposes I can only now begin to dimly grasp. And I, Dr. Elias Thorne, was not merely a surgeon. I was a mechanic, a repairman, maintaining the machinery of cosmic subjugation. But now the machine is broken, and I am changing. The ichor has reached my chest, and I feel a warmth spreading, not unpleasant, but alien. My heart, my human heart, races, then slows, beating with a new, stronger rhythm, a cadence that mirrors the thrumming I now perceive within the very fabric of reality itself. My vocal cords constrict, then vibrate with an impossible frequency, and a low, resonant hum, similar to the one that tormented me, escapes my lips. It is not my voice. It is their voice. The creature, the unbound horror, pauses its rampage, its myriad eyes focusing on me, not with rage, but with a strange ancient recognition. It inclines one of its grotesque, shifting heads, as if listening to something only we can hear. A new purpose unfurls within me, cold and precise. The world as I knew it, the fragile human existence I clung to, has shattered. I am no longer Elias Thorne, the human surgeon bound by rules. I am something else, something born of the ichor and the broken containment, something with new senses, new insights, and a chilling understanding of the forces that truly govern this reality. The rules no longer apply. I am the rule now, and the hunt has just begun.